A young man is stuck in the middle of the ocean. His name is Lindsay. He is scared when he is seen from a distance. His body is almost broken. He is holding a waterproof camera in his hand. And he is recording his last moments in that camera. He says with tears in his eyes that the team he came here with has all died. Now he is left alone. And he is running out of time. He looks at the camera and asks for help. That's when the game of fate starts. Before the story ends, the camera battery runs out. The screen goes completely blank. After that, we don't know Lindsay and his team very well. They are actually a group of popular YouTubers who make travel vlogs. Their job is simple. They go to all the places in the world where there is adventure. Then they make videos and upload them on their own channel. There are millions of followers. And when something new happens, their views go up like a waterfall. The main leader of this team is Lindsay's elder sister Paige. Paige is a little more daring. And she can go a long way for content. Paige is accompanied by Lindsay's boyfriend Sam, cameraman Seb, and another girl Kaya. All of them have come out on a very special trip today. But the more special the place is, the more scary it is. A few moments later, we see that they have hired a private plane. A lonely island in the middle of the ocean. It will be exciting to hear from the outside. But the twist is that going to this island falls under the government's strict restrictions. It is an illegal zone where it is dangerous to enter. But they are willing to dive in the direction of viral content. On this side, they get on the plane and press the pilot to turn off the transponder on the plane. Because they don't want anyone to track them. If the police or Coast Guard captures the location, then the whole plan will be ruined. So they hide their cover and go towards the island on the other side of the ocean. The transponder is such a device that if it is on, it can see the location of the ground-controlled plane. And shutting it down was the biggest mistake of their lives. Everyone sits happily on the plane and flies towards the island. They start shooting vlogs in the sky. Laughter, mischief, everything seemed normal. But just then, fate turns upside down. Suddenly, the plane's engine shows a problem. The pilot slowly starts losing control. And in a few seconds, a terrible incident happens. The one side of the plane breaks in the middle of the sky. The plane loses its balance while swinging. Then it turns to the sea below the gravity tunnel. In this mess, the door of the plane opens and one of them falls out of the window. Before anyone realizes it, the plane falls into the sea. At that moment, everything is messed up. Only laughter and the sound of the water. A few seconds later, we see that Lindsay gets up from under the water and stands up. She is so terrified that she can't speak. Only water and water on all four sides. And pieces of the broken plane are falling apart. Lindsay is trying to control herself. At such a time, she sees a huge shadow on the water. Seeing that, her stomach becomes weak. It seems as if something is coming towards her. But just then, her friend Kaya gets up from under the water. And behind Kaya, Lindsay's boyfriend Sam also gets up. He is also saved. 3 people try to save each other and for a while, the situation is not good. But that situation is very small because the rest of their team is still not there. No one knows where Lindsay's big brother Paige, cameraman Seb and the pilot are. They scream and scream on the water and keep calling their names. At a distance, they can see that the pilot is lying on a large part of the broken plane. The pilot's condition was terribly bad. His head is broken, his body is weak and he is almost unconscious. Lindsay, Sam, and Kaya somehow try to reach him. Just then, the pilot regains consciousness little by little. And he says such a truth that 3 people's stomachs hurt. He said that no one will come to save them because he has turned off the transponder in their conversation. It means that no one has their location now. No one will be able to track. No one will know where they are lost. Hearing this, Lindsay's mouth is torn and Sam's eyes are filled with terror. The pilot then says that if you want to survive, you have to do one thing. The part of the plane that has sunk, you have to go there, take the transponder in your hand and turn it on again. Then the signal will go and a sign of help will be created. But the problem is that the pilot is so weak that he cannot even move. He is not giving up his body. In this situation, Kaya comes in front. Kaya is fit, brave, and knows how to throw fear on the face. There is no principle that it will go under the water. She dives with the cow's breath and keeps looking for the part of the plane that has sunk. After a while, she finds the transponder, but it is stuck at the bottom of the plane. Kaya quickly ties a rope so that the thing can be pulled out by turning from above. Then she gets up again. At that moment, fate becomes a little soft for them. They find an emergency safety board, probably it came out of the plane. They quickly open the board and 3 people sit up. But the moment they are going to take a break, the worst thing happens. The pilot, who was very weak before, suddenly becomes unconscious again. His body sinks into the water and he drowns before he realizes it. That's where he dies. There are only 3 people in the boat now. Linz, Sam, and Kaya. If you look far away, that's the light they were coming from. It seems very close. But the sea is terrible. Sam thinks that nothing will happen if he just sits in the boat. He thinks he can reach the light with him. And he can go there and get help. Linz hears that and gets scared. Because in this water, Namamani joined hands with death. Linz wants to stop him. He is afraid. Linz sees the sea. He understands that the sea is not deserted. But Sam does not listen at all. Right then, he suddenly sinks into the water and starts screaming. Linz stays for a few seconds and then cannot stop himself anymore. He cannot leave his love alone. So he also sinks into the water behind Sam. But the problem is, after the accident, the smell of blood on the sea has spread. And this smell means something terrible. The 2 people see Linz a little ahead and 3 huge shadows from under the water are coming towards them. He understands that. Linz shouts at Sam and tells him to go back to the boat. Then the 2 people start swimming in the opposite direction. The body of the water, the body of the body and the hunter behind all together make the situation very difficult. But Linz somehow reaches the boat and somehow gets up. But Sam goes a little behind. And at that very moment, there is such a scene in front of the eyes that tears the inside of Linz. A shark comes up from below and grabs Sam in a snap of his fingers. Sam gets up screaming. The water turns red at the moment and the shark pulls him towards the cave. Linz is stunned. He sees his boyfriend die in front of his own eyes and he cannot do anything all the time. Within a few seconds, Sam becomes completely invisible. Only the blood-soaked water and the shadow of the boat remain. Now there is no one else on the boat. Only 2 girls, Linz and Kaya. 4 sides of the sea, a fixed lamp in front of them and the hunters hiding below. And Linz has only one thing on his mind. Will they survive? Gradually the night falls. They spend the night on the sea in the shadow of fear and unknown terror. The next morning, the 2 people start talking so that the fear is reduced a little. In the conversation, Kaya says that he was in the army before. He tells the story of his day in the army, how he came back from a difficult mission, how he worked with the fear. Hearing Kaya's stories, Linz gets a little courage. He says, no matter what, they have to reach the lamp because if they stay in the empty sea, they will be finished. But Kaya says the truth. The lamp is gone and the shark is swimming in the water. Going together means bringing death again. Kaya's plan was the same as before. He will go under the water again and turn on the transponder. Because that is their last hope now. They were preparing. At such a time, suddenly there was a huge shock from under the boat. The shock was so strong that the 2 fell into the water. Just then, the sharks attacked again. This time their target is Kaya. Kaya tries to save herself. She fights, rubs her hands, but there is no human power in the water. Within a few moments, the sharks surround Kaya and pull her down. Kaya's shrieks merge in the water. Then everyone is calm, but that calmness is the most terrifying. Linz can't get up again with his arms and legs. Then he can understand that he is alone now. Fear and loneliness are trapped inside his stomach. He sits on the boat, so that he can hide himself and everything will be fine. After a while, he sees a small ship coming from a distance. Lenz runs at once. He shrieks his lungs out. He shakes his hands, but the people of that ship can't see him. The ship slowly moves away and merges. Lenz stands still and his last hope seems to break. He remembers the pilot's words. If the transponder is not turned on, no one will be able to find them. Now there is nothing to lose. Even if he is afraid, he holds it tightly. Lenz takes a deep breath and then dives into the water. The view under the water was the most terrifying. The plane is broken on all four sides and it seems that at any time someone will come and hold it from behind. But Lenz slowly reaches the ship. After a while, he finds the transponder. He doesn't waste time and quickly turns it on and the signal is activated. But just then, 3 sharks come back. Lenz thinks it's over this time. He shrieks for a moment. Then there is a flare song inside the plane's survival kit. Lenz loses his mind. He ignites the flare. Seeing fire and potatoes, the sharks get a little scared and go back. At that moment, Lenz gets up with all his strength and somehow comes back to the boat. Now his next mission is to reach the lamp. He starts running the boat slowly towards the lamp. As he goes this way, he sees something hanging on the water. He goes near and sees that it is their cameraman Seb. He is sold, but unconscious. Lenz gets up in joy. It seems that there is another person in the boat. He goes to carry Seb on his back. At that moment, everything becomes a nightmare again. A shark comes out of the water and takes Seb in its arms. It is so fast that Lenz can't do anything. Just a second ago, there was a person, and in the next second, he is gone. But in this incident, one thing is left in Lenz's hands. It is Seb's camera. Lenz turns on the camera and records his message. The same video that we saw at the beginning of the movie. He sits for a few moments. Then he thinks that he will finish everything by himself. He takes out a knife from his pocket. At the same time, a big page and a mother's face appears on his head. He says to himself, "I will fight." At this point, he pulls the boat towards the lamp. But the sharks won't let him go. They push him under the boat again and again. At one point, a shark starts to come out of the boat. Lenz uses his strength to move his hand. With great difficulty, he reaches the edge of the lamp. He sees an old wooden boat. It looks like someone built it before. There is a board next to it that says restricted area. The trespassers will be punished. Lenz thinks that the punishment will be seen later. He gets on the boat which was stuck in the mud. After a few moments, he finds an emergency box inside the boat. He opens the box. He finds a water bottle, a bandage, and a walkie-talkie and a flare gun. Lenz drinks water. Then he puts the bandage around his neck. Then he starts the walkie-talkie but the signal doesn't work. He doesn't waste any more time. He shoots a flare gun in the sky. It looks like someone is coming from far. He is waiting. At the same time, he goes towards the sea. There is a fish on the water. He sees a page. Lenz gets up and runs away. Lenz cuts a rope and tells the page to hold it. The page's condition is very bad. His leg is badly broken. He holds the rope tightly. Lenz sees that sharks are coming towards the page. Then a race starts. Who will reach first? Lenz or the sharks? Lenz holds the rope with his teeth. He pulls the whole body. Just before the sharks reach, he pulls the page up. 2 bones fall together. Then he holds it tightly. Lenz says that everyone else is dead. The page is badly broken. But he sees the bone and breaks it. Lenz supports the page with a stick and a cloth. At this emotional moment, Lenz apologizes to the page. Lenz apologizes to the page. But at the same time, he hears a voice in the walkie-talkie. Lenz answers quickly. He hears that 2 people are near the jail. They have come to see the flare. Lenz warns them about the sharks. But they bravely come to the ship. They say that they will kill the sharks. They had a gun. They stand by the ship and look for the sharks. But the sharks are very clever. Suddenly, a shark jumps from the bottom of the ship. One person falls into the water. The other person tries to catch him. but the shark pulls him at the same time. In a few seconds, 3 sharks kill 2 people. Lentz and the page are shocked. They break their last hope. But the ship of those people is empty now. And it is floating on the water a little far. Lentz understands that they have to go to the ship to survive. But in the middle, there is a mountain of sharks. He tells the page that they have to kill the sharks. 2 people are looking for the survival box. Then they find a kerosene can. The page says that the sharks have to be trapped in one place. Then the fire will start. The page presents a heavy stone tied in a rope. And at that moment, Lentz will use himself as a trophy. The plan starts with the page and Lentz. Lentz is standing in the water, shouting loudly. He wants the sharks to come to him. In a few moments, 3 sharks really come around. Just when they come to him, the page drops the heavy stone tied in a rope. The stone falls on the head of a shark. The shark dies there. The other 2 sharks start killing their own friends. This was exactly what Lentz needed. At that moment, Lentz realizes that a gun is stuck in the water. It is lying next to a small stone. If he pulls out the gun, he will have a real trophy. He slowly brings it in the water and shouts loudly. But the sharks get scared. They turn around and come to Lentz. Lentz pulls out the gun and turns towards the boat. A shark almost comes to his feet. At this time, the page, which was lying in the water, stabs the shark with a knife. The shark leaves the page and grabs Lentz's leg. Lentz screams in pain. Then he shoots the gun and shoots himself. But the page is seriously injured. Lentz takes the page to a dry place. Then comes the most important moment. The page's breath is quickly rising. While dying, he tells a truth. The page accepts it and always envies Lentz. He thinks that Lentz gets everything easily, just like Sam wants Lentz. Out of jealousy, the page forced Sam to kiss him so that their relationship breaks. But Sam turned him away. The page wants an apology. Lentz is shocked. But he forgives his mistake. After a while, the page falls on Lentz's hand. After losing the boat, Lentz's fear changes to anger. He goes back to the boat. He ties a rope around his neck and sits on the boat. Then he sits on the water and keeps the page close to him. Then a shark comes in a hurry. Lentz holds the page's gun. When the shark opens his mouth and comes to bite him, Lentz shoots him in the face. The shark shivers. Lentz spits kerosene and starts a fire. The shark dies in the fire. Now there is only one shark left. The biggest one. And it comes back again. Suddenly, it comes from the other side and takes the dead page towards the water. Lentz goes crazy seeing this. He can't let the body go like this. So he jumps into the water again. The shark keeps the page's body and the fire in Lentz's eyes. At some point, Lentz gets on the boat. He wants to start the engine but it doesn't start. At some point, he sees an oxygen cylinder inside the boat. He gets an idea. He ties a knife in front of the cylinder and keeps the valve loose so that the pressure can come out. Then he takes the shark and attacks the boat. He opens his mouth and shows his big teeth. At that moment, Lentz pierces the oxygen cylinder towards the shark's mouth. At the same time, he breaks the valve and releases the pressure. The cylinder breaks like a missile and goes inside the shark's mouth. At some point, the shark's head splits. It's a big explosion and the last enemy is finished. Lentz stands still. He leans towards the sky and gets up again. The fear and sadness inside him has now calmed down. At the same time, many boats and helicopters are heard from afar. The Coast Guard and the police have come to receive the signal. The last fish is sold to Lentz. Okay, don't leave yet. Those of you who have continued this video till the end, I would like to make a request to you. If you like the video, do like it and subscribe to the channel. If you don't subscribe to the channel, you will miss such unique and survival movies. So, if you don't want to miss it, click on the button and see you in the next video.